So what happened between the Jets and Aaron Rodgers exactly that you can tell us?
So they wanted to the new guys there, Aaron Glenn, Darren Mucci, wanted to handle this the right way, and so like they didn't have an answer yet on whether or not Aaron wants to play next year, which is still something to consider, but. They felt like the right way to do it would be to fly him out and have a discussion with him. And the end of that discussion is that, that they're moving on. And so I think what's fascinating to me about the point the spot the Jets are in is like a lot of times I feel like these teams go all in and, it's win now and then it has to be a tear down after, right? Like, so you go and leverage contracts and you go and get guys the quarterback is comfortable with, and Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard, and last year was Randall Cobb, and you want to you look at it at the end of that, and oftentimes it's like we have to tear it down. The Jets aren't in that spot. I mean, the Jets have something to sell another quarterback. If you look at their roster, right, like this is what Joe Douglas actually did a decent job of stocking the roster with guys who are still, I think in a lot of cases ascending. Garrett Wilson, Olu Fashanu, Breece Hall, Quinnen Williams, Jermaine Johnson,
Sauce Gardner. I mean, you can keep going on and on.
Quincy Williams.
There's no doubt. There
are players there,
right? And that's why the Rodgers move made sense. It's just like add Aaron if he's the guy from Green Bay that everybody came to know and love, and then just add him and see how it goes. We know how that all worked out. So what would be the Jet plan? Sitting there at 7 drafting, going into the free agent market? And I mean, what would the plan be here? What is planning?
I think it's a bridge quarterback for now. Like, I just think where you are at 7, there are going to be teams that are going to, I mean, you'll see in the combine in 2 weeks, Rich, when you do your homework, as you always do. I just don't think anybody's I think there are a lot of teams that are unconvinced that there's anybody in this year's draft who can be a long-term answer at quarterback. And I think if you're in the AFC, part of the equation, I think this is the case for the Titans at 1, for the Browns at 2, certainly the Jets at 7. You have to look at the class, and part of the equation has to be, okay, we're going to draft this guy. We can get him up and running, right? Like in year 2, year 3, we can get him to a competitive level. Is he ever going to be good enough to compete with the group of Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, Jackson, Stroud, Herbert, Nix? He could ascend potentially into that group. Maybe he could eventually ascend into that group. Herbert, I missed him. I think that's got to be part of the equation for you. And I just don't know if at the end of this we're going to be looking at me, and I haven't done all my homework either yet, but I don't know, like the league is going to look at Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders and say yes. So, I think, for teams like the Jets and the Giants, like they have to look at the idea of a bridge. So who is that bridge? Does Matthew Stafford become available?
Why would he, Albert? Why would he become available? Why? I mean, because everything that you just mentioned about the draft not being all that, and then the free agency market might not be all that either. Why would the Rams want to put themselves in that position when they've got the guy in position with the coach who is as spectacular as they come, right? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know why that would happen, why the Rams would willingly let that happen,
I think it would be contractual.
Okay.
I think what it would be is the negotiation last year did get contentious at times, and it took 6 months to get that deal done. And they moved $5 million forward. So he got a $5 million raise. He was looking for a raise. They guaranteed his money for 2024. They then removed all the guaranteed money for 25 and basically agreed at that time, we will revisit this in 2025. So now they're at that point. So now he's making $4 million less than he had initially been scheduled to make this year, with the other million again coming from 2026. And how do you revisit this? And if you're Matthew Stafford, do you look at it and say there are 9 quarterbacks scheduled to make over $50 million next year, and I'm making less than half of that in 2025? And then how much are you asking for? And how much are you asking for in guarantees? And are you going to tell the Rams, yes, I'm in this for this year and next year and the year after, or is it still just a year-to-year proposition? And if you're the Rams, you look at this and you say, we're one of the youngest teams in football now. So we're looking to build around guys like Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams and Jared Verse and Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner, and Byron Young. And do we want to get younger at quarterback? Do we want to start the process of really leaning into this young core? So much of it's about timelines to me. You know what I mean? Like, so say, yes, we'll go forward for another year with you, Matthew. Are you now in a tough spot in 2026 as this young core is coming of age? You know, it's just, I think a lot of it has to do with those questions. And when Matthew makes what makes clear to them, A, I want this much money, and B, here's my plan for the next year and going forward, then they get to the nitty gritty of it. Like, where does that come out? And then if another team comes along, say a Pittsburgh or the Giants, and offers a first round pick, I just look at these sorts of things, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, is all this going to match up? I don't know. I don't know. Could Sam Darnold be an answer for them for the time being, who's from Los Angeles? There's just a lot that they have to sort through. And I don't think it's necessarily the easiest thing in the world. If it was as easy as Sean McVay loves Matthew Stafford and wants him to be the quarterback in 2025, then yeah, let's go. But, I don't think it's that simple.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.